Hi there. Welcome to Craft with Kathie. We're going to use Somebody Loves You again. Let me bring this little stencil out here and give you another look at it. I did this yesterday on this bamboo surface, and I actually did not wax it, and I probably should have because, again, it is wood. It's very, very smooth though, so it doesn't seem quite as porous, but tonight I'm going to wax it. And I'm going to use the flowers from Somebody Loves You. Isn't this just an amazing stencil? Can be used so many different ways. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Drop me a line and let me know where you're viewing from. First off, let me show you the color of the month. The color of the month is Woodstock. And do you know why it's Woodstock or why it's named Woodstock? Yes, it's after the bird Woodstock and Peanuts. Chalk is collaborating with Peanuts to celebrate their 75th anniversary. And this is the color of the month. Perfect for doing that cute little bird. So I'm not going to use this color tonight, but I just wanted to show you it. It is available only during this month. That's the way color of the month works. So if you want it, grab it while you can get it. I like to cut my tags off my little applicator so that they're not in my way when I'm waxing. There we go. Get that out of here. Okay. So all I'm going to do is apply a little bit of our surface wax. Our surface wax comes in these nice little tins. It's 2.5 ounces, and it is fragrance free. Let me grab a little bit more wax. New container, so it's a little bit, grab some up there. Okay, a little bit. It's not cooperating with me. A little bit hard to dig out of there, I guess. I've never waxed bamboo before, and if I find out that I'm not supposed to be waxing bamboo, I will let you know, but generally we wax wood because the surface is porous, and there's usually like little divots or little dips in it, and I could actually feel the grain here. And by waxing, we put wax into those little divots in the grain, and it'll eliminate or reduce the amount of bleeding that you might get from the chalk paste. So I just want to make sure I get coverage all over. I really can't feel that grain. That's kind of strange. And then I'm applying it, and then I'm basically gonna buff it out. So all I'm gonna do now, it looks like I've got it all over here, which I probably didn't have to wax the whole thing thinking about it, what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna flip my applicator over and buff it out with the other side. That's all there is to it. The little Deb wants to know how much the cloth is. I'm assuming that you mean the applicator. Is that what you're asking about? The wax applicator is $3. Now, if you are a Perks member, you get 30% off. So a Perks member would get it for $2.10. And this is the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of our Perks program. And we've got a lot of specials going on just to celebrate our Perks members. If you are not a Perks member, you can join in March for $20. The monthly subscription fee for being a Perks member is $20. And in return for that, you get a $20 product credit and 30% off of anything other than our Dixie Belle line. And if you join Perks in March, your subscription fee in April will be waived, so April is free, and you'll still get another $20 product credit. So you join in March, pay $20, and then you will get a product credit in March for $20 and a product credit in April for $20, and you don't even have to pay the subscription fee in April. How's that? So it's like a free 20 bucks. Pretty good deal. Bear with me, my hands are a little sore today, so I'm just having a little bit of time buffing this. And I want to make sure I don't shake the table so much that I knock over my tea over there. I see it wiggling back and forth. The wax and the applicator do not come in a kit. They're separate, so you could buy them individually. If you don't have an applicator, you could use a paper towel or some soft cloth, like I think an old t-shirt works really good, but I think the applicators are really nice. It's pretty much, it's similar to the fabric from the fuzzing cloth, and I always apply with the side with the tag, and then I buff off with the side without the tag so that it's smoother, if that makes any sense. That's just my habit. You do what works for you, right? Okay, so I've got the wax applied. Now I'm buffing it all off. I'm going to make this nice and smooth. The wax does a couple different things. It fills in those little divots and stuff to reduce feathering or whatever, or bleeding with your chalk paste. It also acts as somewhat of a barrier so that the pigment of your chalk paste isn't absorbed so quickly into the wood, so that if you make a mistake and catch it right away, less chance of it actually staining. And you also want to wax when you are using layers, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to put the image on using our gold nominee paste, and then we're going to do a little bit of coloring in of the image, and once that's dry, wax it. That'll seal it so that when you apply the transfer again, it doesn't lift up the paste. Okay, I think I've got this pretty well buffed out. Looks nice. Oh, I love the bamboo. It is so pretty. Such a nice quality surface. Okay, so I am going to use the flowers, and actually I need to fuzz this first. Our transfers are adhesive backed, and especially when they're new, we want to diminish that stickiness a little bit. So you could fuzz it, deliberately applying a little bit of lint on our fuzzing towel or on a t-shirt or a pair of jeans or a sweater. And if you saw yesterday's, I used Somebunny Loves You on one side, and tonight I'm going to apply a different design to the opposite side, so you could use this any which way you want to. And I just want to move this over a little bit so that I get the full effect of the flowers here. I think that's good. Smooth it down. And I'm going to use my nominee paste. I love the nominee. It is now one of our regular colors. Oops, I thought this was an open one. I guess I'm going to have to open it. It was a color of the month, and we loved it so much, we asked for it to become a regular, and it is. So I'm just applying the paste, smoothing it over the silk screen, removing any lines and any excess paste, putting the excess paste back in the jar when I'm done. And then basically it's peel and reveal time. How simple, right? If you can butter toast, you can chalk. Check this out. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, isn't that pretty? So simple, right? Now, I'm going to put this aside to dry for a moment while I clean this stencil and show you what we're going to do to this next. It does look quite close to the bamboo. Let me hold it up. In person, it shows up enough. There's a lot of glitter and a lot of shine with it. I shouldn't say glitter because it's more shine. It's more of a metallic gold than anything else. If I could get it so that the light's not reflecting so much there. So it will show up, but we're going to actually color it in. So I'm going to move it over to the side where I've got my little drying tool plugged in, and unfortunately it has such a short cord that I can't reach the table. So give me a moment where I give this a little bit of, while I dry it for a second, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do to the rest of it. Our paste usually takes about 5 minutes to dry. When you're using anything with a shimmer or whatever, it takes about 8 minutes, just a little bit longer to dry than that. So let me clean this up, and we're going to get into some watercoloring. Yep, we're going to color in those flowers. And peachy keen, whoops, peachy keen and eucalyptus are the colors that I'm going with. I think they'll make a nice combo with the nominee. So let me just spritz this with a little bit of water. Now obviously you could take this over to the sink and clean it. And I've got my little board erasers here tonight. It's the new package. The board erasers come 2 in a pack. And usually I just cut them up. I don't use a full one. I might use a half or a quarter. Tonight I'm going to go with half. Just spray it a little bit here and clean up my stencil. And you could do this in the sink. You don't have to use a board eraser. You could use your fingers and just gently massage it. It makes cleanup real easy though. Give it a little another spritz of water here. Clean up the sticky side. Once I have most of the paste off, I will use a disinfecting wipe to clean it up and to actually also remove the lint from the back. And any residual paste. Okay. Now, there is a quick way of letting your stencils dry, or to speed up the drying time of your stencils. You never want to hit them with a heat gun or with a dryer or anything. My drying tool is not as hot as a heat gun, so don't use a heat gun. It's a little bit too hot. You could use a hair dryer on cool or on medium. But if you want to dry you always let your stencil dry sticky side up. If you want to dry it a little bit quicker, on our fuzzing towel, one side is terry, the other side is a microfiber. Put it sticky side up on the microfiber. Fold it over. Squeeze out any excess moisture. And then let it finish drying sticky side up. And this will be dry quite quickly. Oops. Be nice if it'd be flat, right? Okay, let me move this out of the way, and I am going to get my paintbrushes so that we could do a little bit of painting here. Generally, when I paint, I will thin out the paste just a tiny bit. So I'm going to use a little bit, take a little bit of my eucalyptus here. And I don't have a stir stick, so I'm going to use part of my multi-tool just to take a little bit. This looks pretty thin though. I might just go with it without diluting it. Let me check that out a little bit first. So the eucalyptus for the leaves. This might be too big of a brush actually. Okay, well, we'll see. And you don't have to be perfect with this, because after I color this in, I'm going to lay the transfer back down, or the stencil back down, and refresh the outline again. So you don't have to be perfect with it. I probably do need a little bit thinner of a brush, so let me grab something a little bit thinner to continue with this. I don't have the steadiest of hands, so I'm a little bit nervous actually coloring in the leaves. Believe me, if I could do it, you could do it. If you can butter toast, you can chalk. A small brush with a finer or a tapered end works the best. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of chalk paste in here. Like I said, I didn't dilute it because my paste was nice and soft. You want it to be a little bit loose, and just kind of dab at it. You don't have to be perfect, because basically when we're done coloring this in, we're going to lay down that transfer over it and then chalk it in Nominee again, and that'll bring back all the fine lines that we might be covering up as we fill in the different areas. So just take your time, no rush with this part. So anyway, it is a great time to join the Perks program, and in addition to the 30% off, I can't talk. In addition to the 30% off, you also get access to our design studio group, where you can see lots of different projects, and you could post questions, you could post your projects. If you have questions about things, or you're looking for a little bit of inspiration or some ideas, we have a wonderful group of creative designers that are willing to share what they've done, what they've learned, how they do it, etc. So it's lots of fun, and just what you need sometimes when you need a little bit of a kickstart to do something. What do you think about this color combo? Now I chose the eucalyptus, but you could probably use the meadow or the pesto for the leaves also. Really, whatever kind of look you're going for. I wanted something a little soft here. So I'm just filling in some of the leaves, giving a little splash of color here and there. Let me clean my brush, and then we could get on to the flower petals. Now notice here I actually missed the top of this one petal. When I lay the transfer back down, I'll come back there and grab that petal, or when I overlay it, so it's fine. So I'm going to just use the Peachy Keen in here. I did not dilute it. The paste is very soft, so just pretty much dabbing it in the little areas with the flower petals. And it's a little bit kind of close and a little difficult to see, but I'm not being real careful. I'm trying to stay within the lines. I am going over the stamens of the flower in the middle of the petals a little bit, but that's fine, because when I lay the transfer back over it and re-chalk the Nominee, all the definition and the detail will be returned, or will be put down again. So, and you could relax while you're doing this. No hurry, no worry. When you're coloring in, you don't have to worry about the paste drying in your stencil. Generally, when you're using the stencil, you want to work at a decent pace. You don't want it to dry. If you're doing a larger project or more colors, you want to go with the paste and peel technique so that you do it a portion at a time. But when you're basically watercoloring or coloring in like this, you could take your time and just do it as you need. You don't have to rush through it or anything. So I'm going back over some of the areas I already hit and just deepening the color a little bit because the peachy keen is a bit pale. And once I get it the way I want, then I'm going to dry it before we go on to the next step. Now, of course, you could have used whatever colors you would like. I chose the peachy keen and the eucalyptus just because I wanted a nice little soft touch to it, but I think this would be beautiful with a kind of like a light purple or a violet. Just about anything would work. Deb was asking how many months do you have to stay with Perks if you join Perks. There is no time requirement. You can join for a month, you could join for a year. It's month by month. Cancel whenever you want to. We're going to be celebrating Perks all month long, and one of the things we have going on right now is we just released, this is our chalk paste. It's Nominee, that beautiful gold. We just released Nominee in ink for the first time, and it's available right now for designers and Perks members only. That's one of the specials for Perks this month. It's while supplies last, and when I say while supplies last, if it's something that's really is hot, that there's really a demand for, it's kind of hard to know how long it'll be around for. So if you're interested in it, grab it while you can. Perks members also can get free shipping with a $125 order up and through, I think, through the 18th of this month, the 16th or the 18th. I'm pretty sure it's the 18th. And we're going to be having more things happening. We have another small release coming out next week. Trying to think what else is going on. There's just so many things happening at one time right now. It's really, really cool. But yeah, for Perks, there is no time commitment. Join, drop whenever you want to drop. That's fine. It really is. I mean, 30% off is a great deal. Okay, I'm going to run this and dry it a little bit, and I will be right back. I'm actually sitting right here. I just can't reach all the way to the table. So let me dry this a little bit. When you use a drying tool or a hair dryer, you always want to make sure that the surface comes back to room temperature before you chalk on it. Now, this is where I made my big mistake this evening. Remember when I said that we wax for different reasons, you know, to smooth the surface out, to create a barrier, and when we're layering, well, I should have waxed this because I'm layering. I'm going to put down the stencil over what I've already chalked and chalked again. So I'm layering my colors or my layers of chalk. I needed to wax over what I had already chalked before I laid this down. And oops, in my haste tonight doing this live, I totally forgot that step. And you'll see what the fallout was from it in a moment. Our newer stencils are somewhat translucent, so they're easy to align. So I'm going to lay this over what I've already chalked. Like I said, remember I should have waxed it and I forgot. So I'm lining it up on the left, and then I'll just kind of bring it down, kind of looking through it, seeing through until I get it positioned correctly, and then I'll gently smooth it down. Smooth it down. I want to remember to catch this little part of the stem down here that I missed before. Okay, then I'm going to use this looks a little bit off on the top. Let me scoot that just down a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. Nominee. Grab my squeegee. And let's do it again. So once your paste is dry, you can go back over it and add back in the lines you might have covered up when you were painting. And I want to catch the stem down here that I missed. There we go, I caught it this time. And get my leaves, get the top over here. I think I have everything I need. Just clean it up, remove the excess, smooth it out, remove any lines. And let's take a look. Oh no, I peeled some up. It must not have been dry enough. Notice that I peeled up a little bit of the peachy keen and some of the leaves. Okay, well, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to let this dry, fill in the areas that lifted up. That's my fault. I should have waited a little bit longer instead of being so anxious. But I'll just fill it in again, you know, clean the transfer, obviously. Can you see this one petal lifted pretty much all of it up? A little bit too anxious there. I'll just go back and fix it. But anyway, so don't do as I did. Maybe dry it a little bit more. But laid back the detail again. So that's pretty much it. I'll post a picture of this when I've fixed it back up. Like I said, I should have waited. A little bit too anxious, I suppose. That's the only thing about the problem about being live. If I wasn't live, I could have set it there and, you know, for 15 minutes or whatever and not worried about it. I wouldn't have been in such a hurry. My bad. So I guess let it cool a little bit more. Let it wait until you know you've got it nice and dry, especially since the paste was kind of thick. Thank you for joining me this evening. I surely do appreciate it. I will see you soon.